Team USA is about to play their biggest game of the World Baseball Classic thus far against Team Mexico. So I thought I'd do a little game preview before Game 3 of pool play for the United States begins. So far they have played and beaten Team Brazil and Team Great Britain. They have scored 10 plus runs in both of those games. But those weren't the best opponents. Mexico is going to be very, very tough. The next two games for the United States are big ones because while they already have 2 wins and do have a point differential advantage over those other 2 teams, if they lose both of these upcoming games, there is a very good chance, and almost a definite chance, that they will be eliminated from the tournament basically before it even gets started. So these 2 games are going to be very crucial for Team USA. Team USA has Paul Skeens going on the mound tonight, making his first WBC appearance of his career. He was very passionate about doing this when they interviewed him after it was announced, and now he's finally going to get to make his first start with the Stars and Stripes. Obviously, Paul Skeens is one of, if not the best pitchers on the entire planet. He just won Cy Young last year. He won the Rookie of the Year 2 years ago, and he's only continuing to get better. So I'm really excited to see how this game goes for him and what kind of leash he will be on from Mark DeRosa. I don't know what the Pirates have told DeRosa that he's allowed to throw up to this point. So we'll see what happens there. But for the pitching side for Mexico, they have a guy that I've never heard of pitching, and that's never a good sign. But upon doing some research, this guy's name is Manny Barrera. He has made 3 relief appearances in his major league career for the 2021 Orioles, and he had an ERA that was above 30, but such a small sample size you can't really look at ERA. Either way, he wasn't the greatest you've ever seen. He's currently 37 years old, and he spent most of his time in independent leagues since being released by the Orioles. So for Team Mexico, they definitely don't have their strongest starting pitcher out there against Team USA's probably their strongest pitcher. So Team USA definitely gets the advantage on the pitching front, but this is baseball. Manny Barrera could come out tonight and have the best outing of his life and hold USA to no runs through 5 innings and then get pulled, and the Mexico bullpen can do whatever they do. But in terms of on paper, US definitely has the pitching advantage here, especially because Barrera pitched 3 times in relief for the Orioles. We've never seen him start a game at the major league level, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes there. In terms of the lineup, Team Mexico has one of the more recognizable lineups in this tournament. There's a lot of teams in this tournament. Even you look at Team Puerto Rico, some of those guys in that lineup you maybe have never heard of unless you are a diehard baseball fan. When you look at this Team Mexico lineup, you should know every player in this lineup if you watch baseball on a regular basis. Jarren Duran leading off in right field. He can get on base. He can run, steal bases. He has some power. Randy Rosarena right behind him. We know the passion he has for this team. He's originally Cuban, but he lives in Mexico and he's a Mexican citizen. So we know how much this means to him. We saw it in the last tournament. And I would like to mention that the United States has lost to Mexico in their last 4 WBC matchups. But Jonathan Aranda, who was an all-star last year for the Tampa Bay Rays, he's playing first base, batting third. Alejandro Kirk, the backstop for the AL champion Blue Jays last year, is batting cleanup. He can provide some really nice oomph to this lineup. Rowdy Tellez, who I feel like hasn't been as prominent as he was a couple years ago. When Rowdy Tellez was on the Brewers, I feel like I was hearing something new about him every night. Not really the case anymore, but he's DHing, batting 5th, and he still has a lot of power in that bat, so he could definitely do some damage for Team Mexico. Nacho Alvarez from the Braves is at third base. Nick Gonzalez, former top prospect for the Pirates, at second, with Alek Thomas from the Diamondbacks in center field, and then Joey Ortiz from the Brewers rounding out the lineup, hitting ninth at shortstop. Nacho Alvarez, we haven't seen much from, even though he played a lot for the Braves last year. He didn't really do anything too notable in his rookie season, but he is a major league player, so I do trust him in this lineup. In terms of Gonzalez, he was a guy who a lot of people thought was going to be really, really good for the Pirates. He was a second baseman coming through the minor leagues, got to the majors, and then never really did anything of too much significance, so he was kind of written off a little bit, but he is in this Team Mexico lineup. Alek Thomas had a big World Series in 2023 with the Diamondbacks. We know he knows how to play under the bright lights. And Joey Ortiz from the Milwaukee Brewers, he can hit a little bit, but his big advantage over everyone is his defense. He's one of the best defensive shortstops in our great game. So we'll see how that factors in tonight. But that's the Team Mexico lineup. In terms of Team USA, I gotta say, every time I look at a lineup for this team, I just feel like, how in the world is this possible? Bobby Witt Jr., Bryce Harper, Aaron Judge, Kyle Schwarber, Alex Bregman, Cal Raleigh, Roman Anthony, Byron Buxton, Bryce Strang. This is the same lineup they threw out against Team Brazil on Friday, their first game of the tournament. And while I do think that they could improve in some areas, Roman Anthony in left field is great. He's not the best player on this entire roster. This team is so incredibly good. Byron Buxton and Bryce Terang as your 8 and 9 hitters is crazy to me. This lineup is unbelievable. So I do think the United States has an edge in this game. If you watched my World Baseball Classic predictions video, and if you didn't, I will leave that in the description. But if you watched that video, you know that I thought Mexico and Team USA would be the two teams to advance to the quarterfinals from this Houston pool. And as of right now, that's looking very likely. Even one of these teams obviously has to lose tonight, and even if with their next games coming up, the United States has a tougher game tomorrow. The United States has to play Italy. The Team Mexico, I don't know who they're playing, but it is either Great Britain or Brazil, and both of those teams are 0-2 and have already been eliminated from this tournament. They're playing tonight. We'll see how that goes. So I do think that there's still a very good chance that both of these teams make it into the next round of this tournament. But overall for this game, it's definitely going to be Team USA's toughest challenge, especially with Andres Munoz at the back end of that Mexico bullpen. He's nasty. But even though the lineups both have star power, the United States obviously has more. And then in terms of pitching, I really do think that's going to be the thing that sets it over the edge. Paul Skeens, I don't know how much they're letting him go tonight, but if he can give them even 5 innings of Paul Skeens level baseball, the United States are going to be in this game until the very end if they end up losing. Just because Paul Skeens has the capability to do that. With this lineup facing a guy like Manny Barreda, who does not have much experience facing this level of hitter, I do think that gives Team USA the edge. But once again, this is a baseball game. Anything can happen in the sport of baseball. That's why it's the greatest sport in the world. But that's all I got here. Thank you all so much for watching. If you like this video, please consider leaving a like on it and subscribing to my channel down below. I would greatly appreciate it. Subscribe to my second channel around the Mets if you want to see more about my favorite team, the New York Mets. Follow me on Instagram at AroundTheDiamond2, and check out Around the Diamond Designs. That link is in my channel description. But thank you all so much for watching once again. I will see you in the next one. Peace.